travelers, and luxury destination adventurers. It's now time to enjoy the journey on Enjoy the Journey with David Hartman and guests. And now, here's David Hartman.
In the Keys.
Aloha from paradise. Welcome to the Enjoy the Journey luxury travel show live in the Florida Keys. A special welcome to our RadioA1A Cruising Country listeners and our A1A Media Network affiliates, podcast partners, and our live streaming viewers around the world. I'm your host, David Hartman, owner of Fantastic Endeavors Travel Agency, wishing you a happy Sunday. I'm the travel agent, always ask two questions. What is your bucket list trip? And where do you wish you were right now? Aloha, wish you were in Hawaii. That's our show theme today. But we are in Keys Meads, back here in Key Largo. And we're going to talk to Jeff here, the owner, in a minute. He does have clients right now. We may squeeze him in later. But we got a fun-filled show, as always. This show is going to be a little different. We're going to talk about Hawaii and the history of Hawaii and my trips to Hawaii. And then we're going to show a video of Kauai recently, a world premiere. I've not shown it before, even though it was a year ago. Finally got it down with my producer Bonnie's help to edit it. It's absolutely fantastic. And you're going to see this. It's jaw-dropping footage from a helicopter tour of Kauai to get you warmed up to talk about an update on Hawaii. I recently attended a virtual event for 2 days, and it was amazing about all Hawaii tourism people. And I know exactly what it takes to travel to Hawaii right now. Hawaii is open for tourism. It's just a little different how to travel there right now. So stay tuned for all that. Got some monster trivia coming, some great giveaways. As always, please like and share today's stream, comment, and any questions about trivia will be in the chat. We have all the different chats going here right in front of me. And as always, follow our Fantastic Endeavors and A1A Media Network YouTube pages. We are live on both YouTube channels today. We finally got that rocking. So, hey, I know her. And really appreciate you guys being here. And also remember, the guys on Cruising Country Radio and A1A on the simulcast, appreciate being on the audio. Check out the feed. The recording will be available right after the show anytime you can on demand. Check that out on the YouTube channel, A1A Media Network. And we're also on podcast. All major podcast networks. We do it through Acast, but on Spotify, on Apple, Amazon. Check us out. Just search the Enjoy the Journey Luxury Travel Show. And please support our social media. It really makes these channels and our show happen. Also, like to thank our sponsors, Chip Bell, author, the Jake Sullivan series, chipbellauthor.com. Jim LaPointe, talk to Jim for the best mortgage rates in the Keys. Check out the new music store on RadioA1A.com. Atlas Ocean Voyages, Lux Expeditions launching in July 2021. Brand new cruise line. They're really rocking it. They include travel insurance. They include airfare, an all-inclusive cruise line. And stay tuned as I talk about my solar eclipse cruise to Antarctica at the end of the show. Michael Marinelli, the real estate conch, and Health Genie Dale Clemens. Check out Health Genie System Checker. And of course, Vic Figueroa, Key Smartphone Repair. Stay tuned for a word from our sponsors. We'll be here to talk about Hawaii when we get back. Atlas Ocean Voyages offers smaller ships designed for luxe expeditions that extend the reach of adventure travel by sea, with their first ship launching in July 2021. Venture to small villages and remote locations, from the desert city of Petra to the frozen tundra of Antarctica. To experience Atlas Ocean Voyages, call David Hartman, 305-453-9208, Dave at bucketwishtrip.com.
You know, they may be called smartphones, but they are handled by regular folks like you and me. And we break things. Well, no more freaking out about breaking your smartphone because Keys Smartphone Repair is here. Just click or call keysmartphonerepair.com. That's keysmartphonerepair.com. keysmartphonerepair.com. It's fast, professional smartphone and tablet repair located in Tavernier, mile marker 90, keysmartphonerepair.com. Click it now and save.
The Health Genie System Checker answers 3 important questions when you are feeling ill. What is wrong with me? How ill am I? And where can I receive care? System Checker puts the information and answers at your fingertips with the most advanced triage and healthcare technologies available. Engage on a personal level in your own words to describe your symptoms with no smart trees or drop-down menus that force self-diagnosis. Health Genie System Checker provides an avenue to early healthcare engagement. Hello, David Hartman with Fantastic Endeavors. Fantastic Endeavors is a full-service travel agency based in Key Largo, Florida, specializing in custom individual and group travel. Our luxury travel advisors inspire people to answer 2 questions. What is your bucket list trip? And where do you wish you were right now? Fantastic Endeavors will personally tailor your journey to your needs. We build extraordinary, enriching experiences curated just for you. Call us today at 305-453-9208 or email at dave@bucketwishtrip.com. Enjoy the journey. Hey, we're back live from Keys Meads in Key Largo, Florida. Welcome back to the Florida Keys and the Enjoy the Journey Luxury Travel Show. I'm your host, David Hartman, owner of Fantastic Endeavors Travel Agency. I am a certified Hawaii specialist for travel, so keep that in mind. I had the right to talk about Hawaii at depth today, and the owner of Keys Meads, Jeff, actually has a set of clients right now, so we're going to hop him on later in the show. I did want to have him talk away about his great product, his honey wine here at Keys Meads, mile marker 99 411 Unit 6 in Overseas Highway, Key Largo. So how the show is going to work today, I'm going to give you a background Hawaii, show you a map, talk about things, talk about my recent travels to Hawaii starting in 1988. By the way, Saskia Schweitzer, thanks for joining the show, a high school friend. I think Saskia, you were on that trip. Please let me know in the chat. As always, tell me in the chat, have you been to Hawaii and what is your favorite Hawaiian island? If you haven't been, what island do you want to go to first? I will reveal my favorite island shortly because we're going to see a video about my favorite island. So check that out. So stay tuned for that. And trivia, we got some great little giveaways and a big giveaway right here. You have to watch the show and watch my video to get this big bottle of holiday spice mead. It is a fantastic holiday gift, and I just hit my mic. So that's how it's going to work today. We're going to get going now with show you a map of Hawaii and talk about what's happening in the Hawaiian Islands lately. We're definitely going to end the show telling you about what's happening right now in the Hawaiian Islands. Okay, so here's a map of Hawaii. I can't do a cursor, but I'll talk you through it. So the age of the Hawaiian Islands go from left to right, and they all have unique Hawaiian names. They also have unique kind of taglines. So all the way to the farthest left is Niihau, properly pronounced, by the way. That is one of the oldest islands, and that's a private island owned by the Robinson family. They own 45,000 acres on Niihau and another 50,000 acres of farmland on Kauai. Kauai is adjacent. You can see Niihau when you do a helicopter tour of Kauai. You'll see it in this tour coming up I'm going to show you. That's a private island. You're not allowed to go there. Very few local Hawaiians have been there unless you're married to the family or friends of the royal family, the Robinson family. They have their own enclave there, their own niche going on. So that's not for tourists, but it's on the maps. Kauai is 7 million years old. It's the Garden Isle. It is green, green, green. It is movie Hollywood Central. Over 50, 60 movies have been filmed there, including most of Jurassic Parks and Jungle Cruise from Disney coming out soon. A lot of movies have been filmed there because of its beautiful green landscapes, and it's very amenable for the pay rates and the regulations of the Hollywood film industry. Next closest is Oahu, a little younger. That is, Kauai is the Garden Isle. Oahu is the gathering place. 80% of the residents of the Hawaiian Islands live on Oahu, mostly in Honolulu. That's the capital city. That's where you fly to mostly from airports. That is the main hub of everything. Pearl Harbor, Waikiki Beach, the Bonsai Pipeline, the famous surfers, that's all Oahu. Little younger is Molokai. Molokai is the nature isle because it's so pristine, or the Enlightening Isle. That is famous for a national park that was a famous leper colony. For a famous, I think St. Vincent was his name, who ran the leper colony. And it is very rustic, one hotel with 14 rooms, 2 different airports for some reason. But it is very rustic. My uncle once did a conference there when they had hotels there. But the locals there have really owned it back, and it's really not a tourist spot anymore. But if you get on the island, they have the most tallest sea cliffs in the world, 3,000 feet, best seen by helicopter. Next to the right in my picture is Lanai. Lanai is the Pineapple Isle, or now the Embracing Isle. 90% of the industry there was pineapple for many years, and over 22% of the island of its acreage was pineapples back in the day. Now that's gone. It's all been outsourced to Central America. And now actually Larry Ellison, founder of Oracle, owns the island, most of the island, and he's really done a good job re-upping it. They have one little city called Lanai City. I've been there, I love that island, and one hotel in town called Lanai City, but there are 2 amazing 4 seasons resorts on the island I recommend. Next over is Maui. That is one of the most popular islands in the world. I think 90% of all people want to go to Maui. It's called the Romance Island, or the Valley Isle, the Isle of Valleys. And that's because it's very, very big, massive Haleakala crater, then ups and downs. Beautiful place. I've been to Maui twice. Right across from that, you can see most of them. You can see Lanai and the other island I'll talk about in a second, right off your hotels in Maui mostly, is Kaho'olawe, or Kaho'olawe. And that is the Forbidden Isle. That was used for bombing practice back during the World Wars. And that is not allowed for tourists. They busted the water cap, there's no water there. And the closest you can get is basically taking a charter fishing boat in the reefs outside it. Even locals I know can't go there. They need special permission a year in advance to go, and there's not much to see. It's pretty barren because they bombed to death back when our old practices were not sustainable. And one of my favorite islands up there is the Big Island, Hawaii, or the Adventure Isle as I call it. The Big Island is only 700,000 years old. Okay, so you have this big island chain, the most remote island chain in the world, in the Pacific Ocean, in a range of maybe a few hundred miles, and you go from 7 million years old to 700,000 years old. You want a mind trip, fly like I did from Kauai to Big Island this year with people that have never seen the 2 islands before. You go from lush green, as you'll see in my video coming up, stay tuned, to complete rock landscape like you're on Mars. I mean, unbelievable. And it is by far the most adventure-driven island. Still volcanic craters, still growing. The famous Laventa water has stopped for now, but still the Volcanoes National Park is there. Amazing hiking. You can drive in one day, I've done it, to 15,000 feet at Mauna Kea, and then come all the way down to the coast at sea level, and all in a few hours. It's an amazing place. So that is the Hawaiian Islands. And next I want to talk about my trips there. My first trip was 1988, and I had a wonderful time on a high school trip. I just did some high school friends. I got to get my feed going again. Facebook seems to back out on me on occasion. Appreciate you all being on today and looking at the comments. Hey, yeah, sounds good. Perfect. Great. It's 1988. Of all things, a high school trip. Cheshire High School in Connecticut. Hey, Cheshire High School, class of 88. That was when I graduated. They took us on a trip. It wasn't sponsored by the high school, but the high school let one school teacher and a guy who used to teach there run a trip. They did it for 15, 16 years in a row. I did one of the last years they ran it when those things were allowed back then. And it was awesome. 46 kids or something, all high school seniors. It was amazing. That was all Oahu. That was awesome. Then I went again to Maui in 1999. And then I've been very fortunate to see the rest of the islands. Almost all the islands I've set foot on, except for Niihau and Molokai, and obviously Kaho'olawe. I went in 2018. I did Big Island for a night after a hurricane, and then Maui. And then I did Kauai and Big Island for 5 nights very recently, just last year. And I'll show you a piece of that tour. So I'm very experienced on Hawaii. I know what islands have to offer, and I can coach you through that. And today I want to talk a little bit about my favorite island. But first off, I do want to show you my family my hidden family in Hawaii. Not really, but this is a trip I did in Maui 2 years ago, and this was our entertainment, and they are great kids. I'll show you a piece of what they did, and they were just fantastic. Our evening entertainment here, Fairmont, Wailea. Hey, that's my family. So that was part of entertainment at one of the conferences I went to at a Mauna Kea resort. Actually, I saw the Fairmont Kanalea in Maui, in Wailea section. It's a gorgeous section. So I want to go through some more pictures here. Let me go back to my live. There we go. I've also had a chance last year, and this I'm leading up to the preview of my video. So I told you I've been on all the islands. My favorite island, by a hair. I mean, Lanai for one day because it's so hard to get to. I met locals who live in Maui, never been to Lanai. It's just amazing. You only get there by ferry boat or small plane. Big island I love for the adventure, but a romance island that really just took me in by storm, and you'll see why in my video coming up, is Kauai. I mean, it is unbelievable. The way it's shaped, the fact it's so old and mature, the fact how green it is, just really blew me away. And this is a piece of a preview now of the video I'm going to show you in a minute. So I do have friends there. Our tour guide was amazing. Amanda was amazing. And then let me get to the next slide. I have a friend named Derek. Derek is a great guy. We dined together. He's a very, very cool guy in Kauai. He does have a very important job in the mayor's office. And actually, he is the mayor of Kauai. So it's Derek Kaiwakami, awesome guy. He met our travel agent group last year, actually. I was on the island. Got to hang out with us for a while and take pictures. Wonderful guy, and I appreciate Derek running a good island. He is still the mayor of Kauai and now a personal friend of mine, so I appreciate saying that. Really cool guy. And now I want to kind of preview the island and give you a little bit of background, what you're going to experience during this video. So here is a topo map of Kauai. It is as green as it looks when you're on it. I mean, it is unbelievable. It's a more traditional kind of cone crater in the middle. And let me get my notes out here. For the crater in the middle is Kilohana Crater. And there's a mountain name up there, I forget, but you can see these yellow streaks in the middle. And that is very important to my helicopter tour, because very few helicopter tours go in that crater. It is very narrow, it's very, very tight. It's also one reason they get so much rain. The crater is half gone now, maybe a quarter gone, and it faces the east, and all the trade winds come east to west. It traps the trade winds in the rain, and all the rain falls out on these islands, this traditional volcanic cone, because these are all volcanic islands. That's why they're in the middle of nowhere in the Pacific. Because of that, they get like 500 inches of rain a year on very eroded landscape, being 7 million years old. So that's why it is the guard now, while it's so green. And to give you a comparison, you fly an hour away, hour and a half away to Kauai, so from Kauai to Big Island, and this is what you get. Parts of it are barren landscape. It's not barren, but my picture of me right here is from a lava flow that's not even 100 years old from Mauna Loa. And then here's a picture of Mauna Loa. And I mean, it's just amazing, the difference. I mean, 700,000 years old to 7 million years old. And when I landed on Hawaii, I saw Hawaii first in 2018, and I was just like, wow, like this is crazy. All right, let me get back to my live feed and say hello to you guys real quick. Okay. So I want to preview my video of Kauai. It's an hour-long clip that we're not playing the whole hour. We narrowed it down. A tour I took 2019, May of 2019, I haven't had a chance to touch. It was given to me in 5 different pieces. That's how it was recorded. Has great, amazing narration by pilot Dave. 85% of Kauai you see from the air, only from the air. That's why it's very important, these helicopter tours. They're pricey, $250, $200, pay extra for the video, but they are worth it. They are worth it because it's hard to experience a lot of Hawaii from the ground and by roads. It's just absolutely amazing. So the video tour is down to a very reasonable time to watch. We have some giveaways coming up. Actually, I'm going to do some previews right now. But I got a big bottle of mead I'm going to give away. And I will. That will be a question based on content in the video. So you got to watch the video. I do want to do a question. Now I think I got some of my all-stars on the chat. And I got a little turtle giveaway. This turtle here is made by Jeff Wingate. He supplies the honey to Keys Meads. And my first question is, the Hawaiian Island chain is 1,500 miles wide and 8 major islands. But the whole chain has a certain number of islands, and it's a bigger number. So what is that number for the Keys Mead turtle? So it's not 8, it's a lot higher. But it's out there, you can find it. So there's a certain number of islands over 1,500 miles. So check that out. See if my all-stars are in the audience watching. Hope you're all there. So first trivia question. So as I preview the tour, I'll look for answers for that. And then I do have another giveaway. I'll probably ask one more and then just keep them out there. Well, actually, I may say that I'll say that when Jeff comes back on. Jeff has, right when we started the show, Jeff had a whole bunch of people show up. So he's very excited right now. So he's busy. Jeff is the owner of Keys Meads. So in this tour, Pilot Dave is our narrator. This scratchy voice you hear right to start, that's Pilot Dave. You hear me once in a while, that we're very silent watching. And then we go through really 4 major areas of Kauai. The first one is Manawanapuna Falls, or Jurassic Park Falls. This is in the first Jurassic Park movie and also highlighted in other movies. And then the music in the background they play when you're in live and then on the video is amazing. So pay attention to that. Then we go from there into Waimea Canyon, the Grand Canyon of the Pacific. It is all green, unlike the Grand Canyon, but it is massively Grand Canyon, but all green. And it is a sight to see. And from the air, it's truly amazing. Then we go on the Nepali coast, which you can only see really by air or by boat, but you get the true absorption by air. And the highlight there is going to be what's called Cathedral. So that's one of the big monuments there on the Nepali coast. And next is the Kilohana Crater. Only 30% of all helicopter tours get to go in the crater. Now, why is that? Because of clouds. And if it's cloud cover, they can't see, they can't go in. And thankfully, this is once in a lifetime, but our helicopter tour got to go in the crater, and it is amazing how tight it is and how quickly this guy turns the camera. But you got to pay attention to the whole thing at the end to watch that. So enjoy the clip of my time in Kauai. The mic's going to be cut right now, but we'll be watching on the chat. Please keep in mind our trivia question. How much for the awesome turtle? How many islands in the full Hawaiian chain? I have an answer that I heard from the tourism board that I believe is correct. And getting the video set up here. And that is a question in the chat. And then afterwards, when we're doing the update in Hawaii, after the update in Hawaii. So how the show's going to go is we're going to play the video. Afterwards, I'll review for a minute. Then I'll go into a full Hawaii update. We definitely have time today. We'll finish by with plenty of time to cover what's happening in Hawaii right now. I just attended a 2-day virtual event with tourism board people talking about what's happening there. So please stay tuned for that. And then we'll have more trivia. I'm going to give away this big bottle of honey spice mead, holiday spice mead, apple pie flavor, for those of you who stay tuned for the entire show and watch my video. Enjoy my tour of Kauai. This is world premiere. Never shown anywhere before, not to anybody. Bonnie helped out with the editing. Appreciate Bonnie, my producer. But check this out right now. It's going to go right into Pilot Dave talking about us, right into Jurassic Falls. Enjoy it. It's a very special piece, the world premiere. And by the way, Tim Freeman, you're pretty close, Tim. Tim Freeman guessed 137 islands. I have to say, Tim, you're high. So when Price is Right, you would lose. It's a little less than that. So, but you're close. Just again, quick. Here we go. Enjoy the video of Kauai. Helicopter tour. Blue Hawaiian helicopters. They are the gold standard. They're in every major island, and they do a great tour. Check them out right now.
Look down to the left here. You're going to see a little Alexander Reservoir. And then we're going to drop into Hanapepe Valley. And we're going to come up on a waterfall that you guys might be familiar with if you've seen the movie Jurassic Park. It's known as Manawanapuna Falls or Jurassic Falls. You can use either one that you want. And again, it's Manawanapuna. Really simple to say. It took me about a week. So that's going to be coming down and to the right. We're going to go ahead and enter Hanapepe Valley. So we come up to the waterfall. We'll do some S-turns. It's off there to the right. We'll do some S-turns, make sure everybody gets a good look at it. Mile Puna Falls. All right, David, you're going to be the first one, so I'm going to come over to the right here, and then we'll come back over to the left. All right, Karen and Lynn, get that right off the nose. And Sherry. Alright, we're going to go ahead and continue on up the valley here. We're going to come over to the right. Yeah, you got it. Kalei Falls, otherwise known as the Five Sisters. 5 waterfalls dropping in. We're going to split them.
Where are they coming from? What's feeding them?
Rain. Rain, and then there's little reservoirs, little mountain lakes up here that hold and that come down the stream. So, and you got the 5th one. She's hiding out on the right there in the back there. So right now we're going to transition out of the Hanapepe Valley into the Olokalei Valley. Interesting thing about both valleys is they are owned by the same family. It's the Robinson family. In 1862, the Robinsons showed up to the Hawaiian Islands, and then in 1863 they went ahead and purchased the land. They purchased the island of Ni'iau, which is located 17 miles off to the southwest. After sitting there for about a year, they realized it's not very good farmland because it's pretty dry out there. So they went ahead and talked to King Kamehameha and said, let me get some more land. Let's pick up some on Kauai. They picked up 21,000 acres initially and then acquired another 30,000. So with the 45 out in Ni'iau and 51 over here, they got 96,000 acres. And when you guys look down to the left, out there you see the shoreline. That starts their property, and then it ends all the way up there. I will let you know when we clear their land. It's going to be a couple minutes, so we'll just take our time.
Way up high, and the dreams that you dream of.
Dance away, Karen. Just let it go. Let it go. It happens. It's glorious to have to, you know. I try not to when I'm flying. I mean, you know, it's like, hey, somebody's got to keep their hands on controls, right?
Over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, and the dreams that you dream of, dreams really do come true.
So you guys are going to look at the canyon walls, and you'll see these lines that are horizontal lines. Those lines themselves are each of lava, or correction, volcano eruption, and what happened is they stacked up on top of each other over and over and over, coming into about roughly 9,000 feet, and then over time the erosion took place, and now we're coming in about 5225 at the highest point.
You find me, oh,
So we're still on Robinson land, but then we're going to jump across it, and we're going to enter the Waimea Canyon. You guys obviously are familiar with Mark Twain because you're not 12 and you read books when you went to school, not iPads, right? So Mark Twain is actually famous for naming Waimea Canyon. He actually never came over to the island of Kauai, though. It was his assistant, and then he took the street cred. I guess if you're that good of an author, though, you have the ability to.
trees of Greenland. in bloom for me and you.
I also know what I'm looking at. It's a lot to take in for the first couple times, you know.
Why, oh why can't
So we're actually be in the lookout now. It's up over there off the left-hand side. So what we're going to do here, guys, we're going to go ahead and transition over around into the next canyon. You're going to see this waterfall. It's Waiputa Falls, 800-foot waterfall. We're going to come up to it. We're going to do a nice slow left-hand turn. We'll check it out.
Waterfall tumbling right down the wall, beating for you, my love. And
Alright, you guys can pick up the waterfall coming off the right front. And you get the little ridge line that's just above it. That ridge line, you'll see some people potentially, you can do the hiking trail up there. It's about a 3-mile trail. I've been told it's easy.
built there with
I get to look at the waterfall this way every day, so I haven't hiked up there. Didn't really want to break a sweat too much, you know. Yep, no one's out there yet.
Dave, are there no wild animals who live up here?
Oh no, there's a lot of wild animals. We'll come back around to the left here. So Kavika, you get a good look at that waterfall as well. So one of the animals that are up here are boars, deer, and Spanish goats. The boars are feral, of course.
spread your wings and fly away. Fly to that distant star from my waterfall.
All right, getting that last look at the RadioA1A Canyon before we go ahead and jump over the ridge line. So Karen, to let you know, yeah, the wild boars and the goats, there's so many of them that up on the Poly Coast, there's no roads, but you can hike in and you can actually kill one pig and one goat a day. There's so many, they have to eradicate them. Just tearing through the land. But it's also an 11-mile hike in and 11-mile hike out, so you're not just going out there real quick.
And people hunt them for sport, or do they eat them?
Oh no, you're hunting them to eat them. Yeah, because they put all the pigs in the ground. So there's no, I mean, there might be some sport hunters here, but I think most of them are all for food. If I was going to do any hunting, I would eat every aspect of that thing. We'll get some good vantage points.
Is that a person in the water down there?
Yep, it's a boat. Yeah, right now we're about 1,600 feet off the ground, so. Yeah, David, if you look down and to the left there, you'll see that archway. We're flying right over it. It's right at the left-hand side. So we'll get another look at it as we come in and out. I got to show you my most favorite spot on the Poly Coast anyways. It's called Cathedrals. So I love it. It's amazing. I could sit there and look at it all day. We'll get to it in a second. Okay, so we're going to go, come ahead, around to the left, come back out, hit the shoreline again, then come back in. Alright, so we'll go ahead and make another right-hand turn back, and you guys will come into what's known as cathedrals. My favorite spot on the Poly. Might be a momentary delay, 'cause I'd like to take it all in.
So, David, have you flown under that arch?
I have not. It would be pretty sweet too, I'm not gonna lie. But I have not.
Is this a pod of dolphins over here that are jumping up?
And Blue 61's cathedrals momentarily. And sure, if you look down and to the right, you're going to see that archway. Oh, nice. That's cathedrals. Yeah, you see why I'll just hang out all day? I can't though, I can't, sorry. This is the Valley of Kala'au. My understanding is 2,000 people lived in this valley, roughly 1900s, 1901, 1902. And then they all left. They vanished. The question is was there a tsunami that came in, or did they just pack up and move out because they were sick of all the English encroaching on the land, just went back into the mountains and hid? But interesting thing, the interesting thing is that the only people that come in here now are the hikers, and they take the Nepali Coast Trail, and they go ahead and they climb all up in here. But because of the rainstorm that occurred last year, we got 40 inches of rain in 24 hours. So that washed out the road. But supposedly it'll reopen. It was supposed to open 1 May. We'll see, maybe 1 June, 1 July, 1 August. It's island time, so we just take our time here, you know? So this leads me to the next point. You guys pointed out that waterfall. The interesting thing is about 90% of the waterfalls on the island do not have names. There's a couple of reasons. One is they're rain-fed, so they'll show up and then disappear. And the other thing is the Hawaiian language was never written until the English showed up. When we showed up, went ahead, started writing the language out. 16 letters, 8 of them are vowels. Each letter is pronounced individually. So if you go up to the town of Kapa'a, it's spelled K-A-P-A-A, so it's Kapa'a. And then the W's sound like V, so Hawaii is actually properly pronounced Hawaii.
Are these tour boats or are they private people?
Yep, they're tour boats. You guys can easily take tour boats along here as much as you want. And if you get on some of the Zodiacs, you can actually get into some of the key CKs that we'll check out here shortly. So we're going to go ahead and we'll start diverting out offshore a little bit here. And if you guys kind of look down to the left, look down to the right, you might pick up something that looks like a little goat trail, and that's actually the trail that people hike. So we'll get some good... If you look off to the right, you see that one little line in there? That's the trail. So it gets pretty tight in some areas. So we're going to transition along the shoreline here. We're going to hit the beach of K8, and then we'll do a nice left-hand turn back around, get one good, great look at the Nepali coast. We'll climb up here so you guys can see it nicely. It'll be fantastic. At least I think it'll be awesome. Nope, that's the parking lot for the end of the road. And then you have the little homes there, and then you go into some of the other houses on there. Oh, it's one of those days. Down low on the front side and clear in the back. So we're going to transition to this. I don't do a lot of talking in there. It's a pretty powerful area. It's pretty phenomenal. So we'll just let you guys take it all in. It'll be awesome. Today is clear. It's beautiful back here.
That was truly a once-in-a-lifetime. That was beautiful.
Yes, it is. Like I said, only about 30% get to get in there. But sometimes, it's dropping even more. And today, you got this little wall here on the clouds. We'll be able to pop in underneath and check it out. It's just beautiful in there.
How would they feel about this modern city life?
Hey, we're back live. I really am sure you enjoyed that video. That is just a piece of Kauai. That's actually a few clips, really 4 of 6 major highlights. Even leaving the airport and going down the coast there was amazing. I highly recommend traveling to Kauai. It's my favorite island of the Hawaiian Islands, but it's a close first to Big Island, Hawaii. They're all amazing in their own way. And make sure you find a way to island hop. There are cruises that will be restarting next year that island hop, like the Pride of America by Norwegian Cruise Line. And of course, there are numerous ways to island hop inter-island. So next up, I do want to cover a couple things. I do want to cover, how do you travel to Hawaii right now? Could you travel to Hawaii now? Yes. Is it recommended? That's really up to you. If you're not comfortable traveling now, totally understandable. There are flights, there are testing programs in place, there are restrictions, there are quarantines that could be possible if you don't have the testing in place. But Hawaii, October 15th, as I mentioned on previous shows, did reopen to tourists. And by the way, on that note, to see previous shows, I talked about Hawaii Any Show, my Enjoy the Journey playlist is available on both Fantastic Endeavors YouTube channel or A1A Media Network. All the shows are there that you can go see, catalog by date, and check them out. It's something to do on an evening with a nice bottle of wine or a bottle of mead. Hey. I do want to get one more trivia question out there before I cover my update. I did have a couple things to give away. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna hold off one more second Jana Spivak won the turtle. She had 2 guesses. One of them was pretty close, but then she gets 129 islands inhabited, and that's the whole island chain. Is she was right in there. That was right the range, and she definitely won. Tim Freeman, you were close, but you were over. So Price is Right, you don't win. So I do appreciate you guys participating. I do have a big trivia prize coming up right here for this big bottle about the video we just saw. And you have to be here live because our people are so fast that you can't rewind it. So I hope you watch the video. I do want to cover what's going on in Hawaii. So currently Hawaii is under a yellow alert. It is travel with care, but travel is possible. As of Wednesday, here's the big news from the governor. You must have a positive test before departure. Before you could upload your test, arrive in Hawaii, wait for that to come through, and then not be quarantined. Before you traveled to Hawaii, you had a self-quarantine for 14 days, and they were very strict about it. So now you could avoid the self-quarantine by having that test. The key is you have to use one of their approved testing programs, and you have to have it negative before departure. How is that possible? Well, thankfully, their approved partners, most of them have the quicker test, and testing is getting better and better because to get back to travel, before these vaccines that just came out get distributed, rapid testing, as I've always said, show and show again, have you heard me? That's my mantra. Rapid testing is the key to return to travel right now or in the short term. Long term, it's the vaccines, obviously, to make us all comfortable. So the best place to find this, and I'll do a quick slide at the end of all the resources, is Hawaii COVID-19/travel. So www. Or website, Hawaii COVID-19/travel is all the updates you need, and it changes on a daily basis. And I have people reach out to me. The reason I'm covering this now is out of demand. I've had clients on my Dave's Hawaii Facebook page. Please like and follow that, and follow my post there. That site of late has just become a post of rules and regulations from Hawaii because I wasn't sure when we could travel there again. And people on that page have asked, I want to go back. They want to go now. Some people want to go back for like a month. So you can go now, and now I'll tell you how to do it. Each island has their own protocols for arriving internationally. You have to be aware of those. You can find that on that website. And then there are testing requirements in place for inter-island travel too. So is Hawaii travel open? Yes. Is it complicated? Yes. Is it possible? Very much so. My friend Tony flew down here in Florida, took a test, self-test around Disney World, got the positive result when he got back, went back to work. Very easy. That wasn't complicated at all. This sounds complicated, but overall it's not. So if you use their approved vendors, follow the website, and I don't ask me the question, look at the website because it changes on a daily basis. But they have enough vendors out there, and many of the airlines are sponsoring testing programs because Hawaii is a major tourist destination. Obviously, if you watch that video, I bet you want to go to Kauai right now. I want to go back, and I watched the whole thing with you guys. So glad you enjoyed the video of Kauai. Restaurants have dine-in seating with capacity restrictions. Museums and parks are limited. Reservations are required or highly recommended. Most times they're required. That includes Pearl Harbor is open, and reservations have been required out there for a long time. For a while that was closed because of maintenance and some problems with the structure. Now it's fine and open. Masks are required in public, all areas on the islands. In public means that if you're near someone, not with your own group obviously, but just keep that in mind that they're very strict on their requirements. Hawaii went for the elimination strategy for a long time, like New Zealand and Australia did, and they succeeded. They've gotten rid of the virus and they've kept it out. But here, now we're dealing with the fact that they're reopening and they're very strict about it. And if you just follow their protocols, it's fine. The key thing is, I was surprised to hear in this past couple of days on this travel agent exclusive webinar for certified specialists from the Tourism Visitor Tourism Board of Hawaii, Convention Visitor Bureau. It was great to hear that so much was open. Parks are open, county parks, state parks, national parks. Just you keep in mind the reservation requirements of each one. Most of them are available at recreation.gov. Now, there's some cool things happening that they're doing to encourage travelers. For example, Kauai is offering a post-trip testing program for $150, and they give it to you back in an excursion credit with approved vendors. To me, that's very cool. That's a really cool program. So they want you to test before, but they also want you to test after. Again, they're very stringent, but they're giving you incentive to come and basically absorb that fee into an activity credit. Several airlines offer nonstop flights from the U.S., and those are growing each day. There's about 9 nonstop airlines to Kauai from U.S. airports, and also 6 right now to Big Island, and more to Oahu and Honolulu is the big tour. That one is the primary one. So, but it's increasing each day. Southwest, big news yesterday. Southwest is launching from Long Beach. They beat out Delta to go from Long Beach direct. Southwest started international travel last year. When I went to a conference in 2018, that was the buzz. Everyone talked about Southwest because Hawaiian Islands owns the market there for inter-island, and Southwest is now doing inter-island travel too, which is very exciting, and giving Hawaiian Airlines a run for their money because they're very expensive. Great airline, but very expensive. Now, there's also a new program I want to talk about. It's called the Makama Hawaii. Makama means take care of our place. It's a new volunteerism program. It's a culture program that get people involved. And what they do is they waive your extra day on the island if you do a sanctioned activity with an approved vendor. That's a community activity that gives back to the island. You can book that through me, your friendly Hawaiian specialist travel agent. I work with the approved vendors for that. There are approved airlines that waive your change fees, and there are approved hotels that waive your hotel charge. But you can't just go there, say an activity, and go back to your hotel and waive it. It doesn't work that way. You have to use an approved vendor like myself who works with the wholesalers that support the program. So that's Makama Hawaii. That is in general. That's not involved in the testing requirements at all. That is a new program in general to kind of get people coming back to Hawaii and getting people back more involved in the culture. I've been to Hawaii's tourist areas, but I enjoyed most is when I experienced the culture. Like in upcountry in Maui, when I spent a day there, my last day on the island before I flew out, went to Hailaka and drove upcountry, their farming country. That was just awesome. I'm visiting a lavender farm at 4,000 feet with amazing views, and people are just selling little lavender products there. I'm on their newsletter. They're awesome. I mean, Kailasua lavender. It's right in upcountry Maui. Parts of Big Island I went to, like this black sand beach, Punaulu'ula, black sand beach in the south of Big Island. It's more of a locals hangout. I mean, things like that you really get involved in. And so this Makama Hawaii program is a way to get back into it, and I can help you book that. Get an extra day in Hawaii by getting involved in a local activity. You can't beat that. That is absolutely amazing. So we do have some more trivia, one big prize to give away. Hope you all paid attention to the video. I did want to show one more thing. Okay, one last slide to show you is, take a screenshot of this. I'll also have it available later. Take a look at a picture of this. These are my resources. You got my Dave's Hawaii Facebook page has been just a great resource for months because I've had nothing else to post about Hawaii. There's a great safe travels video in Hawaii that is impossible to find even searching on YouTube by the government of Hawaii. I don't know what's up with them. It's not by the tourism board who knows how to do social media. It's by the government. It is a great animation video of how to travel safe to Hawaii, but there's a link in a post to my Facebook page. You can find it in the first set of the feed. That's the easiest place to find it. And Hawaii COVID-19 /travel. Then also the Convention Visitors Bureau is amazing resource for general Hawaii travel. That's gohawaii.com. And also my contact information, 305-453-9208, dave@bucketwishtrip.com. I am a certified Hawaiian Island specialist. I've also just spent 2 days in a virtual one. I usually go into in person with all the gurus from Hawaii, and I can tell you exactly what's happening there on the island. Looking for any questions in the chat? Yeah. Harry said, how do you pronounce that black sand beach? I don't have it in front of me. I'm okay at Hawaiian, but I need it in front of me or I forget the enunciation. Like Molokai, Oahu's easy, Maui's easy, but Hawaii. Simple. There's 12 letters in the Hawaiian alphabet. That was going to be a trivia question, but I already said it. So with 12 letters, it wasn't even written until missionaries went there in the 1900s. A little more history for you. So but it's very limited. So like is like above, and then you can go just Google Hawaiian alphabet online. But W is V, Hawaii, and then the tilde emphasizes a short consonant again. So it's not Hawaii, it's Hawaii, Kauai, Molokai, because it has that little tilde in there. So keep that in mind. Ulu, Black Sand Beach. I don't have a picture of it here, but it's on my Dave's Hawaii page. It's actually in my featured photos. It's enlisted. That one's a little tougher to pronounce. I didn't nail Harry. I didn't nail the Manawanapunu Falls, the Jurassic Park Falls, the first part of my Jurassic Park video. Great question. Favorite island I see? Harry says it's Maui. Maui is a great island too. Honestly, it's hard to say it's Kauai unless you've been there, and very few people have been there, but there are nonstop flights, 9 of them right now from the U.S. to Luhi'i Airport. Someone's been to Big Island, yep, shout out. And then are all the islands the same? So I covered that. Each island has their own testing requirements, but your airline can be helpful, or if you use a travel agent like myself, we can brief you on the protocol. So keep that. Great question though. But yeah, every island, each island is its own county. So Maui is its own county. My buddy Derek, the mayor of Kauai, is his own county. Big Island's its own county, and they have their own restrictions, as just like Monroe County and the Keys has our own restrictions. So keep that in mind. All right, a couple more questions, then I'm going to do one last big trivia before I answer I must well give enough time. A few more questions, but I'll be watching the chat all night, and then tomorrow we are live today on Facebook Live, 2 YouTube channels, A1A Media Network, and Fantastic Endeavors. Please subscribe to those and like those. Key to subscription is you get notification when we're live when we post something, so keep that in mind. It really helps out our shows. Great question. I'm trying to get to them all. Appreciate you all being here. All right, so for the big bottle, I promised this, so I have to do it. And Janice, you are eligible. I was going to do a second small trivia question, but this is fine. This big, awesome bottle of Holiday Spice Mead, a monster value to you, is very specific to the video was just shown. In that video, Pilot Dave, there was one part of the video that he said it's his favorite part. I could hang here all day. That was the exact quote. So yeah, I could hang here all day. What was that? First person to get it, I will get you this. You can come pick it up at the store. If you're not here locally, you come pick it up when you're in town. If not, we'll get it to you somehow. But if you watch my video today I just showed you here on the show of Kauai on Blue Hawaiian helicopter, Pilot Dave said twice now, actually I had to watch it again, it was twice, that he said, hey, we're going to come up see this spot, and I could hang here all day, and said, oh, I could just hang here all day, but I can't. So what was the name of that spot? It's not the name of the area, it's that one specific piece. I said it once, and he said it a couple times. So, hey, yeah, Harry just said, lovely ladies behind me. Yes, he knows they're dressed Hawaiian themed. He actually, it's very busy right. Jeff's not going to make it on the show. That's okay. We'll be here again. Jeff got slammed as soon as we started the show, which is awesome. We got friends here, and they got friends here. People are shouting behind me. So we'll see if we get someone to get the answer. Come on, my diehard Sherry Bankster, Sherry Byers-Langston, Janice, Micheline, Tim Freeman. Did you watch the video closely? Pilot Dave on the feed said, this is my favorite spot. I could hang here all day. What was that spot? It's a big prize. It's a big, tough question. I'm watching for you guys. I'm on the Facebook chat. Bonnie's watching the other chats. But we probably get most of the Facebook feeds. It's all centralized there. Next week, we are going to be at Disney's Riviera Resort. My once-a-month visit to Disney continues using my timeshare points. And this is the newest resort on campus. Stay tuned. We're going to do a full resort tour. We covered the theme parks. We covered some other resorts. And now we're going to cover this resort in depth. We're going to do a live broadcast with some good videos that we take there. Everyone loved the Vero Beach Resort tour last time. And we had to scramble and find a location, but we got it done. And that was very special. I loved it. I've stayed at Riviera. We were there in August. We stayed there opening day last year in December. That's how new it is. There are some newer hotels outside of Disney, but this is the newest on-site hotel owned and managed by Disney with all the Disney benefits, the transportation. It is a deluxe property, Disney Vacation Club. Please check it out. No, Janice, not Maui. No. The video, the Kauai video, we may not get it, but I'll watch the chat. I got to close out the show. But I'll be watching the chat. I kind of started late to get more people on to do it, and the video went so long, which was awesome. I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. But I'm looking for the big bottle, and I'll be watching the chat first one to get it, is what is the one thing that Pilot Dave in the Blue Hawaiian Tour video I showed, he said it twice. Here's my favorite spot. I could hang here all day. Then he said the same thing again. I can just hang here all day, but I can't. He said the term about one spot on one part of the tour towards the second half, not the end, but towards the second half. I don't want to give any hints. It's a big prize. No, it's not an island. Janice, you're giving me islands. But people, no, the tour was of Kauai, and there's specific things in the tour I mentioned to start the show. I mentioned the Jurassic Park Falls. I mentioned some other parts that are there. It's not Jurassic Park Falls, I'll tell you right now, but that's just a hint. So it was on the specific tour of the video where I wasn't speaking. Pilot Dave, not me, Pilot Dave. Make that clear. So it's not one of these Hawaiian Islands. It is a specific piece of tour. This is a big prize, so it's a very difficult question. I got to close out the show. As always, we appreciate you guys. Stay tuned next week, Sunday, 5 o'clock, from Disney's Riviera Resort in Walt Disney World, deluxe property. You're going to love this tour. It's going to be fantastic. Going to show you a taste of all things Disney and holiday-wise, but really focus on this resort. That is a marquee resort is open to the public and also for Vacation Club members. Appreciate you guys being here. As always, like and share this wherever you are. Subscribe to A1A Media Network and Fantastic Endeavors YouTube. And keep following my David Disney. And follow Dave's Hawaii. I'm going to have updates there and all the information from today posted. And you guys have a fantastic Sunday.
Come on, what are you waiting for? They're serving rum up, it's right next door. There's a party on the sandbar in the Keys. It's been a long